Hello, today is Friday, the 30th of March, 2012. This is a triple the view or of the normal charts that are shown. This is the daily chart. And you can see things a little more clear, especially when we have this tiny volatility, which is obviously important right now. But the reason for that is because when a possible large move may come into play, it's generally normal for there to be smaller volatility before it happens. With that thrown aside, I got a few points I want to go over, and let's now talk about Fibonacci analysis to start off with. And I was mentioning before about this low and this high. Now, it managed to retrace 61.8%. And then what did it do after that? It from this low, or from this high to this low, it's pretty much retraced close to 61.8, maybe a little below, but still at this major level, 2 cents short actually today of this bigger level of resistance. So therefore we have made this pattern before of making these lower lows, and we switched up the high pattern within this high over this one. You still need to build a higher low and a higher high. We don't even know if we're going to make a higher low yet. Well, you can say, well, this is a low right here. Well, that depends on what happens today and really into Monday and Tuesday. For if this thing comes down and we have a red candle like this, and the market does something in this area here, then it's no, because it's just a couple small moves within the movement. However, a break above this significant level, it does bring in a inverted head and shoulders pattern that looks like something with this left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. So the bottom is about 31. The neckline you can see is around 33. So if you use the standard method, you would get a price objective close to 35. And it's a very small pattern, but obviously we're only looking at a couple of weeks of data within tiny volatility. Now when we look at this 18 period average, which is the blue lines, the lower was the 18 period average of these lows, and then the upper band is the 18 period average of the highs. Therefore, as we were breaking down, we can see this was in an uptrend. So it didn't find support here or here to keep this in a consolidation phase. When you're within this band, that's generally speaking consolidation. When you're below this, that's bearish, and when you're above it, that's bullish. Therefore, we were in a bullish situation. We failed to consolidate, and then here we are going bearish. This was really the first test of this level. If you're looking to come back to support or come back to have a semi-retracement, if you say, okay, I want to break below this average, and well, it goes down. Well, once it comes back up to the 18 period average of lows, then that might be an area where one might buy, and then one might wait. You're not going to wait till here. Well, you didn't get your short position in by doing that. However, with that being said, it managed to make the next lower low at the time, and then it did come up to the 18 period average of closes. So maybe some who did short at this time frame were able to get, obviously, a nice sale purchase. But quite frankly, they didn't do it here, or it's not working, obviously. Because if they shorted here and then they won, and now they're shorting here, they're really not winning, nor are they losing. They're still waiting, or they're waiting. And therefore, when you have a situation, you come up to this 18 period average of closes, and then boom, we got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got about 2 full weeks from here to here for most of the day, until the end of the day, of course, of being in this downtrend, because it's couldn't even really get above this 18 period average of lows. Didn't have a major capitulation move. What that is is when you are in a downtrend like this and you have a major size move, or 3 or 4 or 5 decent sized ones in a row, that really brings you down well below this average, which would reach usually these lower and upper bands. That didn't happen. But what's also of note is that when you did find resistance in here, notice that it barely took out this low. It took it out, but only by about a couple percent. That's really not that large of a breakdown. And since then, we've now consolidated for the entire week within this band. As long as we're within here, it's not bearish, it's not bullish. We're just really waiting to see what comes into play. Now again, I'm just going to go on with what I think is going to happen, and this is really a bold prediction going against what normally would be favored. But if you do play this because of the long position, inverted head and shoulders pattern, based on how powerful this level is, and the fact that 30 is so plausible still, it really needs to clear this level, even hold above it for more than half or 2/3 of a week, and then this thing should really look to get going. Now, because of the fact that I'd be so surprised that the bottom was in here, that if the bottom does happen to become in at this point, and this is where the bold statement comes in, that the movement that silver would make, not only up to this 35 target level for the inverted head and shoulders pattern, but most likely a really fast move, quite frankly, all the way back up to the previous high, up to even 39, which is a major level, and then from that point on, most likely in-depth consolidation. Now again, that's a pretty bold statement, and you're saying a bunch of things together. That's like parlaying bets. So I could be, say, 70% accurate in picking whatever something to happen. But if I'm picking 10 things in a row to occur, then the odds are heavy that I'm going to be wrong. That's the most obvious way of putting this. And again, as far as downside action is concerned, as far as this head and shoulders pattern, I think what's really important is to really hold above this line. I guess if it does happen to have a pierce below, that's not the worst of things, because what would eventually happen is it would just to say it better, recapture within this band, which would obviously flatten out and go sideways, which would be really neutral. It's still in a little bit of a downtrend, and that means so oftentimes give the benefit of the doubt towards the sellers in a market like this, until of course if it goes sideways for a couple more days, then you give the benefit of the doubt to whatever, because you're now completely neutral with the moving average going sideways. The rate of descent is obviously slowing down because it's obviously looking to change direction now that it's got this higher low in place. But because of the fact of this being a lower high, a break down below here, and the most likely scenario again is that it has a fast move to the 30 mark, because usually down markets go down faster than up markets. And then on the 30 level, like I say, a decent chance, some sort of level of support. And the significant thing is whenever you come to an area that you're supposed to find support, and most of the time you do, and it's usually a good risk reward or a good high probability that it does, the small times or small fractions that it doesn't find support, usually that's where you have a major move, sort of like back in April when 38 didn't hold as support. It just plummeted another leg to the next significant level. Alrighty, so I'm going to end the video, and thank you for tuning in. Take care.